Hi.
Hello. Are you having an overdose, Jeremy?
Probably. Hey, Jeremy's dead. The show's mine now.
The show's yours? Okay. What are you going to change the name to?
The Ben Show.
The Ben Show. Hey, am I cracking up when I
Yes.
talk, or is that just you?
You sound fine to me.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the Ben Show now.
The Ben Show.
Welcome
What
to the
topics
Ben
are we going to be
Show.
discussing?
It's all Ben all the time.
Okay. I can do that.
I'm like it's the like one of those late night talk shows, except I'm actually funny.
You mean not funny?
And I won't spend the whole time making fun of Trump.
You can spend the whole time making fun of that Antifa video that came out where the well, have you seen the new video where they're like pretty much chased out of a neighborhood by a bunch of really fat boomers?
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Is it like the one with the fat boomers that went out with guns?
I've seen too many of those. I don't know which one you're referring to.
The rich idiots.
Oh, those. Yeah. Well, it's like that, but imagine if the rabble-rousers had actually turned around and went the other way before engaging in like a minor, like hissy slapping fit. I mean, it was really pathetic because like everything was so normal and bland in this suburb, and they're just there looking at like Antifa's just there looking out of place, and then you have these boomers with all kinds of like patriotic shirts and biker-looking acquaintances coming up to them. It's pretty lame, but it was funny.
Yeah,
so
it sounds stupid.
No, yeah, it was stupid, but that's
everything is stupid.
Today's discourse.
Yeah, pretty much everything is stupid. No one cares about anything substantive. It's all fucking cultural signifiers.
Yep. Boomers and Back the Blue and Antifa. It's all seriously lame.
So basically, just kill yourself and everyone around you. In a game, parody. This is parody.
Are you extant now, Jeremy?
He said apparently not. Yeah, he ripped Jeremy, R.I.P. So this is still my show. It's the Ben Show. I'm drinking the Slipknot whiskey. It's pretty good.
Oh, I would love to freaking try that.
This is called Number 9 Iowa whiskey. It's got a quote from Clown on the back. It's pretty good. Apparently, like Clown is like a huge whiskey fan, so he came up with this.
Just what musicians do.
Pretty good.
Wait a second. Have you ever tried Les Claypool's wine?
No, I haven't. Didn't know he had a wine.
Yep.
Apparently, I've heard from someone who went to the Toby Keith I Love This bar and grill when those were around. Apparently, like he said, they had like patriotic themed drinks there that tasted like cough syrup.
Ah.
Yeah, apparently that franchise tanked pretty hard.
Okay, so how do we have freaking Jeremy's ghost in here?
Because Jeremy's dead, and so now his ghost is haunting me because he's pissed I took his show. Go away, ghost. Ixnay on the haunting hay.
Freaking pig
Is
leg.
that how you do exorcism? I know you're the Catholic. You tell me how to do the exorcism.
I will inform you I am a Lutheran.
What the same fucking thing? Just do the exorcism hocus pocus shit to make the ghost go away.
Okay. In Jesus Christ's name, go. It freaking worked.
Oh, hey, it worked. Scientology is the one true religion.
I shut it.
Anyway, I did the online killer con. It was actually pretty fun. I had fun doing the gross out contest.
I'm sorry, but
Uh,
any type of splatterpunk that's current is just lame, and it's not splatterpunk. It only existed in the 80s, and it died, and now it's just people like doing some kind of weird bizarro / extreme horror comedy mix-up. Which is fine.
Have enough fries to go with that salt.
It's fine, but it's not splatterpunk. There's Edward.
You have enough
splatterpunk.
Do you have enough fries to go with that salt?
Yes.
I mean, there's all these flavors, and you're choosing to be salty.
I'm just explaining my position.
Your position is stupid.
So is your forehead. It's got a really big crease like
Your forehead's
on top of it.
Yeah, that's part of my big fucking brain. So, are you still dead, Jeremy? Yep. Okay. But I'm trying to. Okay, so yeah, they did the awards.
The lame awards.
What?
The lame awards.
No, the I Dick Your Mother awards. But anyway, I guess Christine Morgan won best novel for her Lake House Inferno novel. The best anthology was Death's Head Press and Hell Followed, their Revelation themed anthology.
I thought Wesley Southard won something with that One for the Road thing.
I think he won best novella, I think.
Oh, they actually have a novella category.
Yeah. I think Ryan Harding won best short story. Then they had Edward Lee with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Lifetime achievement for being a greasy weirdo.
I mean, he doesn't exactly deny that. He talks about how he was recently doing these short films, and he pretty much admits they were just excuses to fill his house full of naked girls.
So now he's a cult leader.
No, they were just actresses he hired.
They're probably part of the cult.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, Edward Lee is a Christian. He's not quite as forward with it, but he's stated in interviews he's basically a Kierkegaardian Christian.
I'm not really sure what that would entail. A Kierkegaardian Christian?
I guess that's kind of his way of saying that he's really into existentialist philosophy and he doesn't belong to any specific church.
Lame. So is Jeremy still dead?
He is, and this is still the Ben Show.
The Ben Show. We need to have more segments. We need to have skits and stand-up comedians in the band.
You don't have the timing, the comedic timing to pull that off, Zach. Not yet.
So you're
There's
alive.
someone talking. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Zach? That was weird.
And I happen to
sounded like a really gay voice.
And I happen to feel like I share the same belief system as Edward Lee from the sounds of it. So
That doesn't really sound like a belief system, though.
yeah, it is.
Who are you talking to, Zach?
Just because they're not a hardcore devotee does not mean that they can't practice their faith in their own way, in a way that reflects their life. So I agree with Edward Lee on that approach, for the record. So.
That is a very awesome little painting.
Victor Castillo. I don't know anything about the guy, but I just wanted to see how long you guys could go without me contributing. And you did do pretty good picking up my slack.
Who is talking? Yeah, Jeremy, you're dead. Go away. This is the Ben show.
No,
you can allow him on as a guest.
My spirit remains.
Zach, do your hocus pocus thing to get the ghost to go away again.
Actually, this is like Weekend at Bernie's, because you're doing my voices like because of ventriloquism. You're doing this through ventriloquism. You're making me talk, even though I am dead. So
now this is more like dead silence in that regard.
Yeah, I mean we're only doing like the Weekend at Bernie shit until we can like sneak all of your books out.
Did y'all see?
And we're just fighting over who can get a hold of your Kindle first.
Okay.
Did y'all see Weekend at Bernie's 2?
Yeah, good stuff.
I don't know. Like
I've heard
maybe it was because when I watched it, like where I was at, I had to have the volume
pushed the absurdity factor up to 10, and that's why I liked it. I mean, a voodoo curse that reanimates his dead body just long enough for him to, dance. That's great.
Did y'all realize that Bernie is the same, like the actor that played him, the same dude who was the psychiatrist in Friday the 13th 7, the one with the telekinetic chick?
I never thought of that before, but yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you mentioned my Kindle. It's up to 3,589 books.
Yeah, it's like if we're doing like some Weekend at Bernie shit, we're like the plot is like us sneaking out your books by the truckload and just fighting to see who can be the first one to find your Kindle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it still blows it out.
Why are you trying to give our viewers seizures?
I just wanted to see if it would work now.
Why do you hate our epileptic viewers?
They know the risk.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everyone knows.
It has a double meaning.
I mean, if you're listening to this show and you're not, just biting your tongue and shaking and shitting your pants by the first hour mark, you're probably going to be safe.
Yeah. We don't have any guests this week, do we?
No, because nobody likes
scaring
us.
off all the freaking hot girls.
Mm-hmm.
You're fucking scaring away all the fucking bitches with your fucking hypergamy talk and how we need to like start putting muzzles on girls again.
I never said that.
Oh, Zach did? Okay.
Yeah, he was like talking about the bitches that hypergamy and they need to have the fucking muzzles on their faces and we need to bring back we need it. No, that's going too far. I'm not going to go there.
We can go there with your mom though.
So
I go there with your dad every single fucking night.
So
can I read my because we have to.
Yeah,
what?
Cocaine.
Can I? Yeah, it's just like I need to get fucking paid. I got the fucking mafia breathing down my neck again.
Okay, so what do you got to read?
Can I read my gross out story that I did for the gross out contest at KillerCon?
When was this?
It was over the weekend. It was online.
Oh, it was an
And I
online
just signed up for it.
Which means it was make believe.
Well,
everything is make believe.
Under the circumstances, it's what they could do. So,
yeah.
You know what else is make believe? This stupid fucking virus.
Yeah.
No, not really. I don't really believe that, but I do think it has been exaggerated, and that none of this was necessary to shut down the world and mandate masks and all this. I don't think any of that was necessary. I don't think it was ever that bad.
I think it's just for a way to get quick power into the whoever's hands.
Well, I mean, look, the CDC are in China's back pocket, okay? And if they're the ones that are rolling out all these rules, I mean, then technically China is the one rolling out all these rules. And they probably love to see Americans wearing masks as a sign of as a sign of bondage, as a sign of.
Well, see, this is what I talk about with this cultural signifier shit. Oh no, wearing the mask is a fucking sign. Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm not going to shut the fuck up. That's how I really feel. That's why I don't wear it.
How you feel is stupid. How you feel is stupid.
No, how China and people afraid of the sniffles feel is stupid.
I agree. It's still like less than freaking 1% of people that have any problems.
I've got 100 problems, and COVID ain't one.
Yeah, I got 100 problems. And your fucking dad calling me for sex is a big fucking line.
I do not need a mask in my life. That is not. I do not need a mask in my life to feel safe. I would rather breathe the fresh air.
I know that the mask gets in the way of sucking dicks, but come on.
It's just stupid.
Everyone's walking around looking like Bane.
It's not even doing anything. It's literally a symbol to make the spurgs in society comfortable.
I mean, a lot of people are stupid. A lot of people are retarded and self-righteous about it, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
literally nothing would be better.
Yeah.
Because look, here's something else that no one else is bringing up. The more that we shield ourselves from this to this extreme, the less likely our immune systems are to, prepare for the next strain. See what I'm saying?
I think the next strain is going to be something different, and it's going to be real and kill a bunch of people. And it won't be related.
But I mean, our immune systems are not.
I mean, I have my own problems.
Huh?
I mean, I do have my own problems with the way they did handle the lockdown. The point of it was supposed to be not that nobody catches it. It was supposed to keep the medical system from being overwhelmed, but it was handled so fucking retardedly that it didn't work.
Well, here's the thing about that. And I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists who believe that it was all one big false flag or what do they call them, crisis actors, but there were a lot of hospital waiting rooms that were empty.
Going to the false flag thing, I'm sure you saw the one that they had the video of the crowded hospital in a state here in the U.S., and then it turned out that it was footage they had gotten from freaking Italy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's something that's not right there. There's something, and how do these people all have, the free time to do all these elaborate dances on TikTok when they're supposedly, it's like a 24-hour triage situation, Yeah.
I really think it's just a ploy to centralize power very, very quickly. I mean, it worked.
I mean, it was happening anyway.
Well, here's the thing, that they've already sold so much of American interests to China anyway, that, I mean, it's really not that, it shouldn't be that surprising.
Jeremy, let's liquidate the Quiet Places assets.
But don't blame everything on China.
They've been to China.
I mean, China sucks, but it's
fuck China.
like Silicon Silicon Valley is doing the exact same thing that the
fuck
Chinese
Silicon
companies are
Valley
doing.
too. Oh my god, I
But
want
they work with
Silicon
China.
Valley to be totally like ruined. Yeah, even if I have to start over on my computer system. Yeah.
At this point, I think I could live without the internet and be happy.
No, I couldn't do that.
I mean, the book thing is the thing that would hurt me the most.
Stop it! Don't talk. Don't go there.
Yeah, but
no, I would.
It would make me just like, to be honest, going to libraries like really old. I mean, I guess university libraries are the best example.
They are. Their selections are horrible.
Awesome shit. No, they're not.
No, their selections are horrible. I've been.
I mean, when I went to university, the library selection there was a lot better than my public library that I live next to now.
Yeah, the public library selection is shit. I mean, they're at least 30 years behind on their selections. I mean, it's just.
Well, at least you could do interlibrary loan for when they were open.
How long does that take, though? Jeez, I mean, it's like
the
mail when you have the internet at your fingertips. It's stupid, you know. That's.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's also true. The company's fucking suing Internet Archive because no, you can't lend out the books indefinitely. It's just copyright infringement.
I
Fuck off.
That, but if they're, I mean, I can see why they would dislike that. Like, I mean, if like they put a book up and then the archive makes it free for everyone instantly, which I mean, I know it's not instantly.
Most of them are so old that they're out of print. A lot of them
out of print
archive are the ones that are either out of print or the authors were dead or their rights lapsed into limbo, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that, of course, but like, weren't they doing it to new books? Like that was the whole big deal.
See, I did. If they did, I didn't see any. I never saw any. If that's the case, can you think of any?
No, I mean,
I just want to say like if anyone pirates my books, I'm not gonna say shit.
Okay, so you fall in that John Skip camp of copyright. I
don't. I'm probably more radical than him. I think copyright should be abolished altogether.
Okay, so if someone turned Elaine into a furry fanfic. The sequel of Elaine into a furry fanfic tomorrow without your consent, would you be okay with that?
I wouldn't masturbate to it, but I'd be okay with it.
Where do you fall on this side? On which side do you fall on, Zach?
Be honest, I really haven't thought about it enough to have a side. I guess I would say that I'm not against copyright. I don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, I can see how it can turn bad, especially like, you know, if you're using like music, like song lyrics in your books or you're referencing stuff and they get all pissy, like I'm against that because, I mean, come on. But as far as overall, I don't really see that much of a problem with it. I mean, it's useful for things like franchises. I mean, not necessarily for me, but I can see how it could be useful to people.
I am a big fan of Internet Archive, and I was using it a lot when they stopped, you know, giving you 14 days, which I honestly was never enough time for me to finish a book. So,
yeah.
So
I wish
my
they
view
just
is
had Mobies to download to keep.
I try to download Mobies from. I mean, there are certain books you can download Mobies, but whenever I tried to use the Mobies, it just looked like shit. The PDFs are what actually function correctly.
Yeah,
so I don't have that problem though. I have not had that problem. Sometimes with the older books, it will fuck up the text, you know, but I can like still discern from what I'm seeing what it's meant to read, and you know, even though it's not, you know, picture perfect, I can still intuit what I'm supposed to be reading there, even though it fucks up the text and language a little bit sometimes in the conversion, you know.
Really, the best thing to do is just get a PDF and then turn it into a Mobi yourself.
That's what I do usually. But even then, you're not totally out of the woods with that stuff. But Leonard and Hungry Paul released this week.
Yeah, I'm 50% done.
Are you really? You're way ahead of me. Wow.
Yeah, I've been reading quite a bit lately.
And let me pull it up here to remind people.
Oh, and I want to tell people right off the bat, in case they buy it based on our recommendation, do not get the Kindle unless you're going to read it on the Kindle Cloud on your laptop.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with that too.
Yeah, it fucked up my Kindle somehow. I don't know how, but like the file wasn't open, and I had to take it off my Kindle, and because I couldn't even read other Kindle books on it after I put it on there. And then I downloaded the Kindle app on my laptop, and it doesn't work on that either. And so I just have to go to the Kindle Cloud, which
yeah, we both have trouble with that. What is it? I've had trouble with a lot of Kindle books that are new that I pre-ordered. They don't open unless I open it on Kindle Cloud or Kindle Fire, and they won't open on the PC Kindle. I don't know why that is.
I guess they decided, everyone has to use the fucking Kindle, so we don't have to have good customer service and make sure the goddamn thing works the first time.
Okay, so you have way more insight into the plot, and we have been hyping this up since the Gregor era of this show. When I first discovered the synopsis to this, basically it's about two guys who are best friends, and they literally are goody two shoes, like to a point that to some people looking in from the outside, they would be sickened by how
it's kind of depressing because their life is like it's not that abnormal to me, certain aspects.
But they really are swell guys, and I don't know. You're farther into it. The whole idea, as the author Ronan Hession proposes in the synopsis, is that, hey, are these guys onto something? This is a book for the meek and the humble. Are they wrong, or is the rest of society wrong about being super nice, basically? And that's, the way it was worded was enough to pull me in. And so, I would say I'm about, 25%. What have you? What are your impressions you've taken away from it as far as you've gotten? Like, are there any actual conflicts in it, or?
No, it's definitely not a plot-heavy novel, but the conflicts definitely are under the surface of how certain characters are living, specifically Hungry Paul's sister. I'm not really sure how to put it. She's almost trying to... Okay, so she is the opposite of Hungry Paul. She went out into the world and freaking had horrible relationships. Was kind of a selfish person, in my opinion. Is very self-absorbed. I'm not sure if it's intended to come off that way, but I read it that way. But she's kind of a go-getter, and she's kind of goading her parents into making Hungry Paul, her brother, become like her. It's not really caused conflict yet, but I think that it will eventually. It's more just a novel of their, kind of like a day-to-day life type thing. I'm definitely digging it. And there's one very profound part you're going to get to. I want to say around the page 130 or so.
Mm-hmm.
That I want to see what your thoughts are when you get there. You'll know when I get there when the author kind of goes off on a little ramble about the basically what the synopsis is about the dichotomy between the simple, nice life and the go-getter life, and he's definitely looking at it from all angles. It's pretty awesome.
So these guys, they play board games, they plan weddings. One of them is into martial arts, but hopefully never to have to use them. And then the other one writes for children's encyclopedias, right?
Yeah.
What else do we know about these guys so far?
They're invested, both of them, in not being, I guess, just not being go-getters, but in the sense that they just want to be humble and have things simple. It kind of is wearing on them. I guess I would say Leonard more than Hungry Paul, because I guess he's just more aware of loneliness a little bit, whereas Hungry Paul is just going with the flow. I mean, Leonard is too, but Leonard just seems way more self-aware than Hungry Paul. But it's also sort of starting to dawn on Hungry Paul due to his sister kind of manipulating things. Not really sure how the manipulation is going to play out yet, but it's pretty awesome so far. The only thing I'm not liking about it is, again, there's a very weird anti-religious slant to it that annoyingly keeps popping up. It's like,
even with them?
Yeah, like it. I would say it's kind of a part on the author just shoehorning it in there like crazy. It's like literally every character will be described as not being religious, kind of like it's a virtue. I'm thinking that might actually get turned on its head, though. I'm not sure yet, but it's a small part of the novel, but it annoys you like when it just keeps throwing back in your face. But I'll just have to see how it plays out.
Ben, you're not asleep, are you?
I am, yes.
Okay, but you're okay.
I do seriously like it so far, though.
Well, cool. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that one for a while. Let's see. There were a bunch of other new releases. I already talked about "Do Not Disturb the Clown," the Killer Clown novel, right? By John Woo or whatever Woo, something Woo.
John Nathan.
Yeah, John Nathan. Yeah. Let's see what else is.
Are you amused every time you say his name?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What the hell? Cuphead has a novel now?
Huh?
The video
Really?
game Cuphead. Somebody wrote a novel for the video game Cuphead.
Is it official or just like a fanfic thing?
No, it's official. It's by Hachette.
Oh. It's
See,
a
I'll pull it
video.
up.
It's like a run and gun video game where you play as these cartoon things with cups for heads.
Yep. This is what it's come to. I don't know. I read a Five Nights at Freddy's novel once. It was all right, but it wasn't even as good as Goosebumps in comparison. But
to be honest, I want to go back and read those like Goosebumps things, like the Horrorland series that they did. That was like, I think it was just called Goosebumps Horrorland, where they like interwove like old classic things and put them in, or old classics Goosebumps characters and put them in Horrorland.
Yeah, One Day at Horrorland was my favorite Goosebumps novel, and I'm talking about the original series.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dummy actually scared me though. Do what, Ben?
I was just gonna say it's weird. I never got into Goosebumps, but I was really into the Bailey School Kids when I was a kid.
What are the Bailey School Kids? What is that?
I guess it's like on the goofier side of horror. It would be like it's a group of kids, like their teacher, they would have like a teacher come in and they would start suspecting the teacher is a vampire, but it's never like confirmed either way whether she actually is. Like they have one where an art teacher who is like white from head to toe starts working there, and they suspect she's an alien. They never learn otherwise if she actually is or not, and that's kind of like the theme of each of the books. It was almost like a Scooby-Doo, except it's a lot more ambiguous about whether the monsters are real or not.
Speaking of Scooby-Doo, I've got have any of y'all seen the new one? I've got a feeling it sucks.
It probably trying to ruin every franchise they can right now for some reason.
What, the cartoon or the 3D cartoon movie, or?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not paying $24 for it, but I know it's out there.
What the fuck? $24? Is that to actually download it or just to rent it?
I can't remember. I think it was just to rent it back when it came out.
What the fuck? I can buy like a whole season of Aqua Teen Hunger Force on YouTube for $20. That's what the fuck is that? I'm pretty sure like most movie theaters won't charge you that for like one ticket.
I think that's just them being fucked because they put all this money into having 3D animated movies with all kinds of celebrities in the cast. And now that they can't go out in theaters, they're just like, I guess the only way we can make back a freaking quarter of what we spend on it irrationally is to charge $25 just to see it.
Yeah, that's the way. Just gouge the shit out of people, you fucking idiots. But I'm definitely not gonna pay that much to fucking watch it. And
by the way, the charges that have been leveled against us that this is an all right podcast.
All right podcast.
I guess that
we've already established it. We've already established it is not a political podcast. It's a podcast about your love of fucking dogs, and that's that.
I'm not.
No further comment needed.
No, wait a minute though.
No further comment needed.
No, listen. This fucking ass glove.
Hey, Jeremy.
If I'm an anti-Semite, then how come I worship a Jew?
Jeremy.
What?
Jeremy.
What?
I accidentally fucked your dad.
I worship a Jew. How can I be an anti-Semite?
You worship the king of the Jews.
Jeremy, right. I accidentally fucked your dad. We need to address this right now.
No.
This is of the utmost importance.
No, don't go there. Anyway, where's Ann?
I sent her the link at
I did too.
Right when you sent it, and then she was like, "Oh hell, like freaking, are we doing it now?" And I'm like, "No." And I guess I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, so a pro wrestler has admitted to murder, but then he deleted the Facebook post where he was admitting to it. Yeah. Here we go. I know you guys haven't heard of him. Marty Janetty from the Rockers tag team in the 80s.
Is he the one on the left?
It's the guy. I never told no one this, even my brother Gino, because Gino would have killed him, and I didn't want my brother gone. Hell, he'd only recently came home from Vietnam. I was 13 working at Victory Lane's bowling alley, buying weed from a fag that worked there, and he put his hands on me. He dragged me around to the back of the building. You already know what he was going to try to do. That was the very first time I made a man disappear. What do you mean?
He didn't kill him because Ben is sitting right here.
You mean that there's been more than one? I mean, what does he mean? The very first time. I mean, I made a man disappear. Yeah. They never found him. They should have looked in the Chattahoochee River. But Winnie, the girl in these pics, I liked you so damn much. Probably my favorite. But I promised myself way back then nobody would ever hurt me again. And that includes you. I loved you, but you hurt me with your fucking Jamaican jealousy. You can go your own way. I don't need you. Jamaican jealousy.
Okay, so apparently he this is no, it's not that either. This podcast fucking sucks. But and anyway, he just straight up said, "Yeah, I just killed a gay guy because he came on to me." What? Rudy,
can we address this? Is true? No, if this is true, then he was 13 and the guy was trying to rape him. Is the implication?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what is? Wait.
But he said that
in that case, the story. In that case, in that case, there's a non-zero chance that this happened.
What do you mean?
It didn't happen.
Why?
Oh, the 13-year-old needed a grown-ass man to death.
Yeah. Right? But why did he say it then if it's not true?
Because he's a fucking smooth brain. And apparently he still thinks that talking about beating a gay guy to death for coming on to him is cool.
No, I mean, wait a minute, though.
I got a strong pedophile vibe from reading that post.
Chattahoochee River? I mean, he was very specific. And then he deleted the Facebook post, like, and his defense was
because he knew it made him look like an idiot.
No, I didn't say I killed him. I said I made him disappear. I swear that was his defense. That was his defense.
Yeah, I'm not saying I made him disappear. I just gave him a pair of concrete shoes and made him go for a swim. You see, not my fault he didn't come back.
He's going to reappear out of a freaking top hat.
Very strange story. I mean, he's very specific. I mean, all the locations are all, conveniently near each other. And the time frame adds up. He would have been 13 at the time that he was working at Victory Lane's bowling alley. I mean, it's I don't know, man. He says he beat him with a brick in self-defense. I don't know.
That's why Ben doesn't remember, because he has freaking amnesia.
Yeah, Ben was
the dude who. The dude who won the Grlz contest messaged me to tell me that my piece was one of his favorites of the night, so that's pretty cool.
Who did win?
A dude named Jay Wilburn.
Okay, I'm not familiar. Does he want to come on?
He was pretty great. I'm not gonna send him the link.
How come?
Because your dad. That's why.
I'll send him the link.
Okay, the link.
Go
but no,
ahead.
I'm just not really a fan of doing that. Just randomly saying, "Hey, come on this," and sending the link.
Didn't you do it on?
He's embarrassed of you, Jeremy.
Didn't you do it on 2 occasions? You did it with the Lauren Angelina.
Who?
Lauren Angelina, that girl that we never.
Who the fuck is that?
The girl that you brought on that we were never able to talk to.
Oh, Laura. No, well, no, she asked to come on.
She did, huh?
Yeah. I told her about it, and she asked to come on.
What you want to come on for?
I know. I still haven't figured that out.
She wanted to talk about her blog and her working with mentally disabled people.
So she just wanted a free plug. She didn't actually care about what we talk about.
Well, she's an IRL friend of mine, so obviously she cares to an extent. Okay. Well, she cares about me. She doesn't care about either of you two, because both of you are no friend dicks.
Are what?
You're no friend dicks. You get no fucking friends.
Oh. I've had my fill.
Correct.
I don't need them.
Jay hosts the Matter of Faith podcast. I don't know. I just saw on his profile that he does that he's an author, and he did a really funny story about going to a church with Max Booth, where the priest cut himself open, and he had like a description of him the priest cutting his testicles open. That actually made me cringe.
Okay.
I hope that was fiction.
He talks about like the priest turning into a monster when he cuts himself open. Of course, it's fiction. But I know both of you are smooth brains that believe in that. I know both of you are smooth brains that actually believe in that shit. But it's clearly fiction.
You're very aggressive tonight.
I've been drinking the Slipknot whiskey. Pretty soon I'm going to be screaming about waiting and bleeding.
I felt the aid rise up in me.
He has 3 kidneys. That's his superpower. That's why he's won the gross out contest 2 years in a row, I guess.
So read this gross. Yeah, I want to hear this gross out thing. If you want to read it.
Okay. Yeah, it's called Outhouse Boy. Let me pull it up real quick.
I've already read it, so I'm going to go grab a beer.
Okay, this is Outhouse Boy. Outhouse Boy was born to a teenage girl on the floor of the very outhouse in which he grew up in. Of course, the girl had no way to care for it, and didn't want anyone at the camp finding out what just happened. So she wrapped the baby, still covered in its cheese-like birth fluids, in a towel and threw it down the hole of the outhouse. She expected that if the fall didn't kill it, then it would drown in the lake of human waste. What she didn't expect was that the little boy would not only survive the fall, but that the rancid mix of shit, piss, and everything else that had been thrown down there was shallow enough to cushion his fall, but not to drown him. The sewage of an outhouse isn't exactly conducive to the growth of a child, but somehow the boy made it. When it wasn't eating the fecal matter and piss that the camp visitors dropped in his home, the occasional Twinkie, half-eaten slice of pizza, or his favorite, an apple core, would make its way into his foul-smelling home. When Outhouse Boy got big enough, he figured out how to climb out. The first time he left his shit-filled hole in the ground and stepped outside, the sun was going down. It still hurt his eyes, unused to light, but still allowed him to explore his surroundings. He saw the sky, trees, grass, deer, and the nearby lake for the first time. By the lake, he saw a group of people sitting in a circle by the fire. He recognized these as the ones who rained down piss and shit on him and kept him comfortable. He'd always avoided them by instinct, but now that he was on the same ground as them, he wanted to meet them. Of course, they screamed and scattered when he approached them. A naked young man covered in feces, urine, and garbage with long matted hair would scare anyone away. One young lady tripped as she tried running away. As he approached her, reaching out his hands to show that he meant no harm to her. Seeing her cleavage and her low-cut top gave him a strange feeling. His feces-encrusted cock began to rise as he got closer to her. She screamed, grabbed a nearby fishing pole, and hit him across the face with it. It hit him at just the right angle for the fish hook to lodge in his cheek. He let out a strained yell. It was the first time he felt a pain that intense. While the young lady ran away, Outhouse Boy hobbled back to his home. The fishing pole dragged behind him until he tore the fishing line with his hands. He cried out more as the line made thin cuts in his hands. He yanked at the hook in his cheek, crying and screaming. He finally tore it out, leaving a gaping wound where it was. He cried and cried as he made his way back to the outhouse and climbed down the hole. He tried rubbing the sewage that he lived in all his life on the wounds, but that didn't help. For days, he splashed around in his shit-filled home, in pain, pus pouring out of the cuts. In his pain, he developed a deep hatred for the ones who filled his home with waste. A few days later, his wounds had mostly healed, but his anger had not subsided. When he saw the dim light of the hole above covered by somebody's ass, he climbed up. He sank his teeth in the meat of the man's buttocks as his diarrhea began to flow down his shoulder. He screamed and tried to get off the toilet, but Outhouse Boy held him there, sinking his teeth deeper and deeper into the soft muscles of the man's ass. Finally, Outhouse Boy bit through a chunk of his ass and fell back down into the sewage. The man stumbled out of the outhouse, pulling up his pants and staining it with a mix of blood and liquid shit, as Outhouse Boy lay floating in the pool of waste, chewing the skin and muscle. It tasted amazing to him, better than any other garbage or leftovers that had been thrown in his home. It also gave him the same feeling as when he saw the young woman's breast pressing against her tight, low-cut top, but even more intense. His penis was rock hard. The ones who rained shit and pissed down on him may have discarded him and hurt him, but now it didn't matter. Outhouse Boy, the human waste product, would now consume them to fulfill every hunger he had. The end.
So what was the winner's story? What was it about the winner's story that made him the winner?
Partially his performance, because he definitely had the best performance, and I think partially the humor and and he had very very visceral descriptions of a man cutting himself open, starting from his nutsack.
Yeah, okay, it was the church story.
Yeah.
How gross can you get with a scrotum being torn open, though? I don't know.
You'd have to listen to it. He does a good job of it.
Okay.
Shane Mckenzie. I think Shane Mckenzie was second place.
Yeah, he's won a lot of those. I think.
Yeah, he had he was actually in his office at the time, which was pretty funny. He was like in the break room of his office reading it to us.
So you
he kept having to look around to make sure no one walked in.
Oh, okay. So he was doing it from his place of work, and hopefully not. He was reading not safe for work material at work.
No, he was reading very, very graphic descriptions of an obese woman getting her pussy ate by her son and shit like that.
Right. So not safe for work.
Yeah, and third place was Gerald Rice.
Who?
To be honest, Gerald Rice, he's a horror writer. To be honest, I found his probably the least memorable. No, no shade to him, no diss to him. It's just it just didn't, hit me like the other entrants did.
So you read the lockdown trade-off. I tried to warn you.
What? That was bad? Well, it wasn't bad. It was just mediocre. It's like this was week T. Yeah, that's right. I need to bully the shit out of you for hyping this thing up. This was like a nothing. This was like week T. This was gas station coffee. This was like a butter sandwich. It was bland.
I felt
mediocre.
I felt sorry for the girl.
She was too one-dimensional for me to give a shit.
No, but think about it.
It's just like after the first 2 chapters, I was just like, I don't really care that much what happens to these people.
She got turned into into furniture, though. I mean,
it was fucking goofy.
It was goofy, but it was still real. I mean, for her,
it was too silly of an image to really work.
Well, like Human Centipede,
this was nothing. I mean, Human Centipede was gross. I mean, the reason the first one kind of works is just because it just kind of sticks to that. It's just kind of a gross conceit.
Shit.
What?
Okay, I said that I was gonna freaking get away from making authors mad on the internet.
No, what are you doing?
Shut up! No, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! No! Shut up! Shut up!
This is a blunder. It's not about.
Shut up! Shut up!
It's a funny story.
Shut up! Shut to your mouth. Don't make me come over there and slap the dick out of your mouth.
Hang on, let me make.
Anyway, lockdown trade-off. Lockdown trade-off. Fucking leak. Don't read it unless you've just got 99 cents burning a hole in your pocket.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. I friended Joe.
No.
Right when we were talking about him too.
No. Shut up. Shut up. I promised Zach I would bully the fuck out of him whenever he tried to bring this bullshit up, so I'm doing that.
This is different. This is not.
So anyway, the lockdown trade-off. I mean, the only thing I'll give it is that.
Wait. Are you saying that Zach asked you to bully him if he brought it up?
Yes.
Yes, he did, and I'm doing that. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Don't make me stick your head in the fucking toilet. Yeah, don't make me stick your head in the fucking toilet.
You said that you
don't make me stick your head in the fucking toilet. Shut the hell up.
Hey, can I talk?
Shut up.
Zach, do you know how many privacy complaints I got last week because of that shit?
Now this is different. It's not like
Zach, don't make me come down there to stick my fist up your ass and rip your lips off. Well, anyway, the lockdown trade-off, it's like the only thing I'll give it is that it's a full novella for 99 cents when half the time shut up, no one cares. Nobody cares. Hey, Zach, let's stop talking about that and let's start talking about the fact that I accidentally fucked your dad.
The drama. People bring drama to me.
I'm not big on the
I don't nobody gives a fuck.
I'm not big on the
nobody gives a fuck
for obvious reasons. But anyway, so just say in the private chat what happened, Zach, since everybody's too pussy to let people do a show. Not
Jeremy, shut the fuck up before I come down there and stick your head in the toilet.
Put it in the private chat.
Give me your fucking lunch money. Give me your fucking lunch money so I can buy more overhyped extreme horror novellas from Amazon.
Spit up my drink. Anyway.
And what did you
Zach?
Well, anyway, let's get back to me. What did you think about my Outhouse Boy story?
I thought it fucking sucked. I'm just
like your mom?
I liked it, Ben.
No, it's this. I chalk up me not making the top 3 mostly to me being a terrible reader. Maybe if I guess if I really wanted to troll, I would get Jeremy to read it for me. That'd probably be pretty funny. What do you think of it, Jeremy?
I don't know. I guess when I think of gross out horror, gross out contests, I think of like the most depraved acts that you can barely imagine with the limited human imagination. And so I guess I was expecting a little more.
I guess just for me, outhouses are to me one of the grossest things ever. So,
they are.
That's the route that I went down. I will say that, like, I don't like, regardless of how you feel about like the whole like male privilege dialogue. One privilege that men have is that we can go in a fucking outhouse and not have to touch anything to take a piss. Women have to either sit down on that or they have to like do a floating squat above it, and I feel sorry for them because of that.
Horrible. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine in the summer when all the heat, and yeah, and the humidity.
Yeah, it's just like I'd almost rather go outside instead, which is another male privilege. We can just like go behind the bushes and whip our dicks out to piss.
Mm-hmm.
On the inside, Ben is just a lame anarchist feminist.
I'm 3 of the 2.
Fall, but he also wants the patriarchy to fall so that there can be like a big state of like women that baby him.
How the fuck am I want a state of women when I'm an anarchist? Bitch.
An unofficial state.
There is no unofficial state, but anyway, just because I am like an anarchist feminist doesn't mean I don't want a million bitches on my dick. Like, don't you? What are you, gay?
You know what I'm?
Are you fucking gay?
You talking to me or Jeremy?
Both of you. What are you guys, fucking gay?
No.
Zach, that's bad optics. What you just put in the chat. It's no wonder that person.
I did not like do that on purpose. Like, it just happened. I'm like, fuck, I did it again accidentally.
You could have avoided that.
I swear to.
No, but I did it because Ben's saying.
I swear to fuck, I am good. I swear to fuck, I am going to come down.
Had you sent him the link, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, I didn't want to send him the fucking link.
And when I associate with other authors, even if I don't mean for things to happen, things happen. This is just the truth.
I didn't want to send him the fucking link, and now I'm not going to. This is why I didn't want to send him the fucking link.
But you see.
But anyway, if you don't, you need to unfuck.
Had you sent him the link, and this wouldn't have happened.
You need to unfuck yourself, or I am going to come down to Tennessee and fucking throw you face first into the nearest outhouse, which isn't very far from where you are, I expect. Actually,
no, because I live next to a haunted house, and they have a big roll of outhouses, like haunted attraction.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
You know, what I am noticing, though, that extreme horror authors are like the most thin-skinned of any. I mean, I'm definitely noticing that. Without
Ben's in that camp now.
Huh?
He's an extreme horror author now.
Ben is an extreme horror author.
Yeah, he entered a gross out contest.
That was just.
I mean, that's just one. I mean, well, no, it's one aspect. I am multifaceted.
But Elaine isn't.
I mean, I wrote a. No, I mean the first chapter is pretty gruesome, but for the most part, it's pretty much just psychological horror. I mean, I do have like a few really gross poems in Dr. Sodom and Mrs. Gomorrah. I thought about reading one of those for the gross out contest, but I decided not to be a lazy asshole and actually like write a new piece for it.
You know, I wonder if we're due for like a week off, like a vacation or something. Because like so we've been doing this since what? This past October.
Jeremy, you're weak.
I'm just tired, man.
I'm not against that idea.
Are you unhappy?
It has felt like I'm always unhappy. It's not because of the show.
It's like we're what?
I'm unhappy because of life.
No, but what were you going to say before that? It's like we're...
No, it feels like we're, kind of running out of things. And it kind of feels like, kicking against the pricks is, just getting tiring.
Nah, I mean,
which is why I'm fucking bullying. Which is why I'm bullying Zach.
Okay.
What?
I'm not kicking against the pricks this week.
What the fuck do you think you just did?
That was an accident. That's the whole explanation of what happened.
I mean, you could have.
I know that was not intentional. Like this just happened.
That could have been avoided if you'd have given some forethought to it, though. Is all I'm saying.
Yes. Now, this isn't really... He's not necessarily...
He probably wouldn't have come on anyway. He's probably gives in to peer pressure like the rest of them. It's fucking peer pressure. It's pathetic. Anyway. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's just at some point we need to take a break because, we don't even have any guests this week, so what the fuck are we doing?
I'm just talking about like a week, not like taking 6 months or something. I'm just talking about 1 week off, because I only had 1 day off this week. I'm just talking maybe next weekend we take it off. I don't know, and kind of recharge our batteries. I mean, there's plenty of things we can still do with this show. It's just, you get tired of scumbags and retards and faggots flagging you down and having to.
That's when you have to be stronger.
No, I know, and I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm just saying maybe a week off, to recharge your batteries, which I had been.
I know what we can do. We need to do that thing.
The one thing we should just do is just kind of start.
Paranormal thing that could be the next show.
Hang on, one at a time. One at a time. Zach, finish your thought, and then Ben.
Other than having the next episode be like a full-fledged Quiet Place episode, which it can be, it can be considered that. It'll just be like the thing like you and I did, the old Seawalks video. You and I did with Kevin Strange, the paranormal video viewing.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. But I don't. Strange doesn't need to be around me right now if he's converted and found God, and my beliefs of that aren't in standing with his. I don't need to be a bad influence on him right now. So
no, I wasn't saying bring him on. I was saying if we could, I would like to bring him on. I'm not opposed to it.
No.
I'm saying
I don't. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of arguing with my own friends. It's the thing.
Yeah, and we don't have to. I was just saying that example of the video. I wasn't saying
all it ever does is turn into an argument. Because
let's not argue about it.
He wants to push something, a certain thing, every time, and then blame me like I brung it up when I didn't. Okay, now, Ben, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say we just need to stop engaging. Like, at this point, we get it. These fucking people have a high school clique mentality, and enough of it. We can stop complaining about them and, move on to other things. We don't need the show to be just, why we hate everyone else or why everyone else hates us.
Yeah,
we can do other shit.
Yeah, and
which is why I'm all on board for fucking bullying Zach if he tries to start shit.
No. If that's one thing we're not, it's bullies.
I'll bully you back.
I'm gonna bully the fuck out of Zach, and I still need to bully the fuck out of you for hyping up the lockdown trade-off so much.
I deserve that.
This is so scary. What the fuck did you see in this thing? This was just like this. I mean, this wasn't as bad as like porn, but it was just like in the same thing. It's just like one of those dime a dozen things that calls itself extreme horror.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
It wasn't even that extreme.
Because, for one, I was curious by the way Sam West wrote the synopsis out, how this guy was basically selling out his wife in order to get bailed out for his bar business or whatever, and what was the catch, and how she would never look at a chair the same way again or furniture the same way again. And then to see what he meant by that in the end, it's like I could picture it in my head too well, and it really disturbed me. Like, what if this was real? Even though it's totally implausible, I could still think to myself, what if it was real? Is what Frank's saying is what Frank's saying true or what?
I just looked it up. No, it's not true, and screw you for getting my hopes up that Kamala Harris fucking died.
Was it? Maybe he was talking. Wait, he was talking about Kamala the wrestler. Okay.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Kamala Harris.
There,
hey, the link has been sent.
There, that's who he's talking about. I honestly, Frank, I thought he had died a long time ago. I think I'm having a Mandela effect thing with Kamala.
It says he died in 2005.
Huh?
No,
it says he died in 2020.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, that's a funny thing. I saw a post the other day that said, "It's like I'm having a Mandela effect. I thought that Las Vegas was a city in California, but it's actually a city in Nevada." No, that's not a Mandela effect. You're just retarded.
See,
and that's the same thing with the what it's named after. It's just like I thought Nelson Mandela died in prison. He was the first prime minister of the post-apartheid South Africa. You dumbass.
I'm having a Mandela effect because
I can't live that jaded. I can't live that jaded. I think that Bigfoot stories and UFO stories, you can suspend your disbelief to enjoy them, and that's how I choose to live my life. So I don't need to feel smarter. I don't need to make myself smarter than a storyteller. I mean, it's.
Look, I know you get off on the idea of slimy aliens shoving things up your ass, but you got to keep yourself grounded.
I am grounded. I've lost the most important people in my life, so I'm very grounded. But that doesn't mean that I have to be jaded about it. So.
So I'm all for the idea of having another paranormal video viewing episode. I seriously enjoyed that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great channels out there. Have you ever watched the channel The Scariest Movie Ever? He does like live streams, but he points to a lot of different a lot of good recommendations on there.
We can talk to them sometime. Yeah. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I can't tell if it's a man or a woman.
No, it's a dude. Okay. The Scariest. We might be thinking of something different.
We should do like a quiet place uncensored where we just go and like watch the most fucked up porn that we can find and make jokes about it, and then we just upload the video to Pornhub.
One thing we can go on about now is, I mean, it's kind of old news, but it seems to just now be kind of getting brought back up, is the police shooting of, what was his name? Ryan. They did it on
Ryan Whitaker, I think his last name was.
Yeah. Have you seen that video, Jeremy?
When was this?
It's fucking.
Yeah, you don't want to watch it on here, but I mean, it's the one like.
Yeah, we'll get struck down, but.
Oh, we'll get struck down.
I mean, it's almost as
people are pussies, but what?
I mean, it's almost as disturbing as that one cop that was basically telling that one kid in a hallway in that Las Vegas hotel to basically play Simon Says and then shot him dead as soon as he missed the beat. It's basically like this cop just went in, shot this poor guy in the face, and his girlfriend was crying, and he was just acting like a complete shithead. Like, it's okay, I shot someone. I'm a cop. The only way I can get off is when I fucking kill someone.
Wait a minute,
I can't come until I kill someone.
He's just such a dick, like trying to cover his ass because he just murdered a person.
Are you talking about the one that took
straight up murder?
Okay, I'm trying to ask a question. Are you talking about when the one that happened in the car?
No, this is a different one.
The woman said, "Please tell me you did not just kill my boyfriend or something." And
no, this is different.
No, that was I know what you're talking about, but that's a different one.
This one, I mean, it's infuriating to watch. The worst, I mean, obviously the worst part's him getting shot, but the cop's attitude after it. Like,
what was his attitude exactly?
He was like basically trying to cover himself. And first off, he's bossing the girlfriend around after she's hysterical because he just basically murdered her boyfriend. And then he's like saying, "Oh God, you didn't see me? He had a gun. I had to do it." I mean, it's horrible. I went to sign the dang petition to arrest the dude. I know it won't do anything, but now I'm normally not anti-cop, but this one,
I'm not saying we should do this. I'm not advocating this, but here's a better idea. Why don't we just go in that cop's home while he's asleep and shoot him in the fucking face?
Oh, Ben, that was so dumb. Now I can't without it. I got it.
Parody in a video game.
Metaphorically speaking, is what you should have said. Because
I'm gonna have to edit that. That's.
It's parody in a video game. I'm not advocating it. I'm just saying that it's a possibility.
If I had some like rotten tomatoes,
I don't give a fuck.
Being right now.
Like I don't give a fuck. Shoot cops. Cops suck.
This one sucks.
Shoot them in the face. They all suck. Shoot them all in the face.
I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that.
Okay, and
I will stand behind this. I will defend this to the end of the world. Oh yeah, I think she. I think she managed to find more.
I won't shed tears.
I think she managed to find.
I wouldn't shed tears for Antifa though. I know that. Fucking.
I have mixed feelings on them.
Yeah, you wouldn't ever do that, would you? You would never get out there and act like them, would you? Hide behind
depends.
Like a simp.
I don't know. Well, okay, for legal reasons, I shouldn't go into detail.
They have no agenda. I mean, they say they do, but all they do is go out there and freaking.
All they want is they just want to see it all burn. They're fucking pathetic. And
but that video,
I mean, I was on board with them up until
hilarious.
I mean, I was on board with them up until they went off the rails and decided that every milquetoast Republican was a fascist, which was a really stupid. It was just a waste of fucking time.
All they are is the freaking arm of the state, or just whoever the gigantic secular authority freaking ruled by Satan is, imposing a type of secular morality. They're just the army of that. I mean, they're a pathetic army, but it's just like the people who have no guiding morality banding together over a kind of stupid ideal. And that's really all there is to say about it. It's pathetic.
It's just the fact that the left in America is a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if it was like the Spanish Civil War and they were burning down churches because they were hiding Franco's forces, that's one thing. But just like randomly, I don't know, punching someone like Andy Ngo, and I don't like Andy Ngo, but he's that's what he's asking for. He wants to get punched so he can like go write a boring article about how bad it was.
They would probably punch you because you're a Nazi, from what people have said.
And they wouldn't do that because I'm fucking ripped.
Okay, so I sent the link to Jay Welburn. I don't think he'll come on, but
You think?
That was unplanned.
It doesn't matter. You need to think about these things if you want to be successful. You got.
It's like, it's like you are. It's like you are the worst fucking snowflake. I just imagine, hey, I'm doing this this Splatterpunk event, and you start going up and down on your fucking Facebook. Splatterpunk sucks. Blah, 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 blah. I am fucking triggered at the existence of Killer Khan.
No, I'll say I was triggered at the way that the Splatterpunk Awards define Splatterpunk. It's not Splatterpunk. Splatterpunk died in the 80s. The new thing is just kind of like extreme, well, basically what I said there, extreme horror mixed with kind of bizarro horror comedy thing. It's just different. You can call it something else, but it's not Splatterpunk. Splatterpunk died out with the old crew. It was very specific to its time.
Well,
I don't know.
Firm.
They don't have to call it Splatterpunk, but I still believe that there are good stories to be told with that kind of those kinds of ingredients, even if they don't call it Splatterpunk today. Like, for instance, Brain Chew might be considered Splatterpunk. I don't know, but I just finished Brain Chew.
The way you describe Brain Chew reminds me of a lot of Rawhead Rex, and that was from Clive Barker, who was definitely Splatterpunk.
Yeah, well, I finished the second one, and it's still pretty badass. I'm waiting for a crossover with some other monster, though. I feel like even if Wol-vriey just crossed him over with one of his own other monsters, that would be cool, you know. But
I mean, like, as far as like, not necessarily Splatterpunk, but exploitative writing. I recently read Michael Fahn's SS Death Simulation, and yeah, that's like how you do like an exploitation film in the form of a book. That was a lot of fun to read. It's basically about this woman in Sweden is running this brothel that becomes popular with SS officers, one of whom is a midget. So you got a Nazi midget in there. And
you did say this is SS Death Simulation, right?
Yeah.
By Michael Fahn? Okay.
Yeah. And when the locals find out this is happening, two women go undercover as prostitutes in the brothel to, steal secrets. And it's awesome. There's a lot of deviant sex, a lot of action scenes, some like spy intrigue. Like this is how you do like a B movie as a book. Like this is how you do like exploitative writing. And way fucking better than Lockdown Trade-Off.
Yeah, well, my quest to read every book ever written, it's it fell under that pretense. So,
and I'll also say that I just started reading James Ellroy's Blood on the Moon. The very first chapter, the first chapter in that is more disturbing than the Lockdown Trade-Off. It's a pair of jocks it starts off with a pair of jocks at a high school, just cornering this kind of meek guy who's kind of a poet and just beating the fuck out of him. And one of them gets hard from the beating and just pins him down and rapes him. Like that scene alone is more extreme and disturbing than anything in the Lockdown Trade-Off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not defending Lockdown Trade-Off. Believe me, I'm just saying that
you sound upset about it.
It genuinely disturbed me what happened to that chick at the end, and the fact that somebody could conceive of that as an idea, and the fact
I've read like Japanese manga that did that in a way more disturbing manner.
Okay,
yeah.
What is it? Let's just throw spoilers out the window.
He basically turned her into a couch.
Yeah, he sews her into a couch. and like he is like the lover that she was cheating on her husband with. He cuts off her his arms and legs and turns him into a table.
Are they?
So I mean, that's
extreme horror, disturbing.
that disturbs me thinking about it. Yeah.
I mean, like, I will say, like the way this book handles like the whole COVID-19 thing is like it could easily have that COVID-19 shit edited out of it and be and still be readable. I will say, like, it does have a decent story. If it was in the hands of a better writer, I could have seen this being a genuinely disturbing story, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I can't defend it. I'm not going to defend it. I told you it was. I tried to tell you. I warned you, and you said no. Nobody tells me what to do. I'm going to read it.
Well, I did. I was hoping it would at least have some stomach turning shit in it, and it didn't. It was just weak tea.
It was probably hammered out in a few afternoons with one hand typing.
Yeah, which would be fine, and maybe that's partially why I didn't like it as much, because you hyped it up so much to be, oh, it's so disturbing. No, it's not. I'm
saying it disturbed me. I mean, that's all. I mean,
your bloodline is weak, like that book. This is why you will never reproduce.
Do an episode next weekend.
Huh?
Make your bloodline strong and do an episode next weekend. Don't cave in.
I don't know, man. I'm not even.
This is why you will not reproduce. This is why you will not reproduce, because your bloodline is weak.
I'm not even feeling it tonight, to be honest, man. And it's not because I'm giving up. It's not because I'm giving up.
It's because I decided to get drunk and bully you guys.
I don't know. It's
This is my show. It's the Ben show.
Shut up.
No. Know your place, maggot.
I think that because it was just I was having more fun reading before I got on, because like I'm working on like 30 books at once right now, and I
thought you only read 25 books at once.
It varies. Right now, I'm reading a shit ton more than I usually do.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing Jeremy will always be ahead of us on. Is like, I don't know if you've ever seen that picture of that guy in the New York subway, like reading like 2 books, one in each hand. But that's basically who Jeremy is.
I did want to document this one. I did want to make note of this one thing, where how I say that I'm always picking up these incongruent, similarities between books that have nothing to do with each other because I read so widely. I picked up I picked up a synchronicity between Siege of Stone by Terry Goodkind and Brain Chew 2 by Wol-vriey. They both have to do with statues, people being turned into statues or statues coming to life.
So does Leprechaun 3.
But I'm not reading Leprechaun 3.
That's a movie.
I'm saying that when you read so widely, you start picking up little things like between books, and it's really cool. I've always enjoyed, finding those little similarities, synchronicities, as it were. Terry Goodkind straight up writes anime now. The power scaling is has the same problem as the Marvel Comics characters have, with everybody's like a beyond Omega level dimensional entity. By the end, it's crazy. And
yeah, this starts off. How high is his power level? Over 9,000! And then by the end of the series, it's just like they don't even bother with the scatters because they're like super duper level 5 Saiyan.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
It's like they keep ramping it up to the point is just like, this is just a fucking joke.
Goodkind writes anime with like comedic value in it now. That's what he writes now. I mean,
didn't he always write that to some extent?
Well, no, I was able to take him more seriously during the first series of Sword of Truth novels, and now he's just dropped off into this strange nether realm of comedic value in anime. and in this one, there's a scene where one of the evil sorceresses that has been unthawed from being a statue for hundreds of years makes one of the main character's hair just keep growing and growing and wrapping around her, going down her throat, choking her, squeezing her arms and legs, to the point of breaking. And they keep chopping off locks of hair, and it just keeps growing back. It's flat up comedy value. It's comedy gold.
Please stop. My dick can only get so hard.
But I mean, see that's and yet I can't stop reading. I mean, this is the guy who wrote
yeah. I mean, I keep going back to this, but to give the lockdown trade-off credit, as mediocre as I found it, I still finished it within a couple hours.
Which one?
The lockdown trade-off.
Oh boy, stop bringing it up. Stop bringing that book up.
I'm gonna bully the fuck out of you for this one.
No, but I told you not to read it.
Yeah, you told me not to read it because, it's so extreme. It's so fucking disturbing. No, it wasn't.
I said that it was. I don't remember saying it was extreme. The author says that. I feel
like you said this is the best burger ever. I've never had a better burger than this. This is fucking amazing. And you gave me a McDonald's burger.
McDonald's is the best.
No,
I know. Even I don't. I know. Of course, I don't believe that. But
so you get what I mean.
Yeah. Let's see. Also,
horror
I'm reading.
So freaking awesome. Have y'all ever read Stephen King?
Yeah, I get.
Man, it's just this It book is just it's a little extreme. It might turn your stomach a little bit, but it is good, man. I mean, it is good. It is a good read, but it's hardly the most extreme thing I've ever read.
Man, have y'all ever heard of John Grisham?
Yeah.
He writes legal thrillers.
Anybody ever heard of the micronation Sealand?
I've heard of a couple things like that. I haven't heard of Sealand specifically, though. I remember
they live on the equivalent of a helicopter launch pad in the middle of the ocean, and the UK has recognized it as a territory, I believe, and yet they insist that they have met all criteria for it to be a micronation. And so I'm reading this right now about this guy and his family line who have lived on this, basically this, I don't know, fortress in the middle of the ocean, and maybe not even that, maybe not even big enough to be called a fortress, but they live in the middle of the ocean. And I mean, the deliveries of their supplies and stuff may not come for 2 weeks at a time, but they're happy living there. And they are able to grant passports, which makes them, feel that they are entitled to be called a micronation. So I'm still early on with that one, but I thought it was interesting enough to pick. So
I'm noticing that Bird Box is a related book to that, which is kind of funny.
I have no idea what that's
about. Goodreads algorithms, sometimes they go all screwy. Like one time I was reading Irvine Welsh's A Decent Ride, and it recommended me My Little Pony and Adventure Time comics based on reading that. Based on reading a fucking Irvine Welsh novel.
But Frank said he might pop in a little while.
Cool.
Oh, cool. But anyway, I just want to say, I've kind of thought about it would be kind of cool to go to I don't know, maybe not Sealand specifically, but some really obscure remote part of the world where the internet barely works, and just go there for 2 weeks and maybe work on writing, but just kind of be away from everything. Obviously, we can't do that now with COVID-19, but I think that would be a cool thing to do at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, every summer, I try to go down to Bays Mountain Park, at least once every summer. And the planetarium's not open right now. It's just the trails that are open, and I can't walk, that long, anyway, with my, with what's wrong with my feet. But I always like to go out there, and that, smell that cool mountain air, But if I've got to wear a fucking gay ass mask to do it, forget it,
Yeah, hiking with a mask on would be horrible.
Yeah, that's not the point. That's not getting back to nature. That's letting a distraction influence your zen state. It's ridiculous.
Honestly, who's gonna freaking stop you like a dang park ranger? That's
wildlife. You're gonna give the wildlife COVID.
Yeah, I don't think people follow that. Now at my dang gym, they started making you wear masks. I'm like, I'm not gonna go there and freaking walk on a treadmill with a mask on and start. I mean, it's just not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's a little weird because it's like going into the grocery store and shit. I understand, but I mean, like being in the gym, like unless you're wearing one of those like air restricting masks that douchebags wear to pretend they're working out on a mountain or something, I don't see the point in that.
I mean, one, you couldn't probably have trouble breathing. If you start getting really, winded, you're out of breath. All right, I'm starting to get my mojo back a little bit tonight. I guess it was a little late coming, but yeah, I think I'm just tired, from doing it so many consecutive months straight, and just need 1 week off. I may or may not take next weekend off, but
yeah, I mean, I did Killer Con this weekend, and I'm still here.
Yeah, right.
You guys are pussies.
No, Zach doesn't want to miss.
Zach is lame.
Episode. Zach doesn't want to miss an episode.
You're lame.
It's me.
You're lame, and so is your mom. Tell her to start giving better head.
Okay, that's the parent stuff.
Hey, Ben.
Wait, are you jealous that I'm fucking his dad instead of you? What are you getting?
No, I don't go for the mom jokes with you for obvious reasons, and would hope that people, afford me the same courtesy, So.
Ben's lame and Killer Con is lame, and Splatterpunk is not Splatterpunk. Oh.
You know what's lame? Your mom's head game.
Oh, Ben.
But
so what else have you been into, Jeremy, other than those books? Have you been watching any movies?
Just the books. No, just the books.
Yeah.
I did get some writing done earlier. I'm finally at the part where action is actually there's actual forward motion and not setting up characters and events. And I think that for the longest time, I've actually been afraid of things actually happening in my stories, and I don't know why that is.
I'm going to be honest, that doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean you're afraid of things happening?
Meaning that I've been so caught up with setting up all the details and like world building and putting things in place, setting up the dominoes to fall and everything, beforehand. With most things that I write, that it's like I've actually, procrastinated and actually forward motion and actually making the dominoes actually fall. I think that I've avoided that for so long that I've forgotten what it's like to actually have things actually happening, other than setting things up, adding these details in here, world build this, give these details, backstory, and all this.
Hey, Jeremy.
All the things, no, all the things that I like in stories, and I've been afraid to actually, make things actually happen, like something actually change and be consequential in my work. So,
Hey, Jeremy.
Mm-mm.
You know all those characters that you like in your book that you really built up, that you spend a lot of time building up,
Yeah.
That you're really attached to.
Yeah.
Kill them. Kill them in the most horrific ways you can think of.
Okay,
kill your darlings.
You're going with the kill your darlings, yeah. But why? Why do I got to be like that?
Because that's how you make me care. That's just like it. If you're gonna like do a story like that's like the story that you're talking about,
mm-hmm.
you gotta fucking kill people, and that's how this kind of story works.
Yeah,
that's why the lockdown trade-off doesn't work, because I don't give a shit about the woman. I give a shit when it's a character that was spent lovingly developed.
I'll talk about some good books, some books that I read.
And you know what, Zach? I just read the comment that Jay Wilburn left on your post. It is not.
Yes,
it's not novel length, and it's a fairly level-headed one.
Like when I first,
what the fuck are you talking about?
I just automatically assumed that he was ripping into me, but he was just explaining his position. Maybe you could say it was passive aggressive, but maybe not. Anyway, the books I read were.
I think you wanted him to be to give you that reaction. I think that like subconsciously you wanted him to turn you down like that. Is that possible? And I'm not trolling right now. I'm serious.
No. I only did that because Ben wouldn't send him the link, so I did it myself. I had forgotten what I posted, but anyway, I read the Aspirin Papers by Henry James, which is freaking amazing. A lot better than his other novel, or I guess novella. What was it? Daisy something. I think it was Daisy Miller. I read it back in high school, but this one was a whole lot better. It's in a book I have collected with the Aspirin Papers and Turn of the Screw. I'm going to read Turn of the Screw later. And I also read a Revelations commentary from a Lutheran publishing house that is surprisingly hard to find. Like, I just lucky. But
wait, tell me more about Aspirin Papers first.
It was published, I think, in 1888, if I remember correctly. And it's about a writer, he's like a critic and I think an editor. Like he's involved in the publishing world, but not really as a writer. And he obsesses over this poet who's dead, his last name's Aspirin. But he finds out that the only living person who was in contact with Aspirin is this woman who Aspirin had courted back when he was young. And so he devises a plan to stay, become a lodger at her mansion in Venice. Now, it's not a nice mansion. It's like super old and they're poor and stuff. But he becomes a lodger there, paying like crazy amount of rent. And his whole plan is to get into the family's good graces and get his hands on these papers that she has of his. I can't remember if they were actual poems or if it was like essay or love letters or something like that, but he just wants them. And the family is the old woman and this kind of younger but still middle-aged, I believe it was her aunt. And so he's trying to like court her falsely to get his hand, like work his way into the paper, the family, just to get his hands on the papers. It was a pretty good story, and the ending was definitely pretty amazing. Sad, but amazing.
That sounds pretty interesting, because I've only read Turn of the Screw from Henry James, which I think is a pretty solid ghost story. And it works because it's, by a spoiler, it's the kind of ghost story where you don't really know if the ghosts are real or not, even by the end. But that actually does sound pretty like a pretty fascinating plot.
Yeah, it kind of all builds up to this one kind of, genuinely disturbing moment that kind of like, I mean, I've always seen Henry James linked in with, I don't know if you would actually say Gothic, like of that, like actual like genre at that time period, because I don't know exactly like what time period constitutes a Gothic, like a Victorian Gothic. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but he's always kind of linked in with that. And
yeah, I've heard him kind of like sort of in the same class as Edgar Allan Poe. Like not as famous, but kind of in the same category.
Yeah, there's a really creepy moment near the end of the Aspirin Papers that I wasn't expecting, and watching it, or well, seeing it in your imagination unfold, like once you're kind of just into the flow of reading this old, you know, flowery prose, and then it happens, was pretty awesome. I'm definitely a big fan of him now, because Daisy Miller, maybe it's just because I read it in high school, but I was kind of iffy on it, and I honestly cannot remember anything about it. I mean, I remember sort of liking it, but the Aspirin Papers is definitely one that'll stick with me. And it has a whole big thing about how he wrote, like I don't believe he was like an originator of the novella or anything, but he took like that length very seriously and wrote a lot of novellas. But I guess they called them tales back then, like shorter than a novel, but you know, longer than a short story, but they were kind of serialized. So if you're a fan of that length, like, because stories that are in that length always have like kind of a, I guess, kind of jumpy feel to them. He definitely works with that very well. So it's flowery, but not just long and sprawling with a ton of detail. It gets to the point pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy The Turn of the Screw when you get around to reading that.
I might actually read it next week.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's a pretty good Gothic ghost story.
Yep. Definitely in the mood for that type of thing.
If somebody tried to steal a bumper car, it would turn off as soon as they got away from the track, right? Because they're electric. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're connected to the little thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. I don't know what you're planning, but you know, that part of your plan, you got to throw that part out.
They don't even have fairs now anymore because there's a non-virus going around.
Because COVID-19.
Hey, did you guys?
Because of the Kung flu.
COVID fake team.
Hey, did you?
China virus. Because it came from China.
And I'm sure that at least you are familiar with the Brothers Quay, right?
Yeah. I watched a couple of their shorts.
They've got there's somebody wrote a biography / analysis of them or something. Got that.
Yeah, I've got like a whole DVD of their shorts, but I haven't watched it yet.
Basically,
what the heck are
they do stuff with puppets and clay and stop motion, and they're very artsy. And basically, if anybody who likes the music videos of Tool, which I do, they're a lot. Those short films that are a lot like that.
I've been trying to listen to Tool. I can't get into them.
You really like the Brothers Quay if you like.
I know everything I like. You don't like to get it.
You really like the Brothers Quay if you really like Jens Vankmeyer.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm the only one who likes Jens Vankmeyer.
No, I saw Faust and I didn't like that, but then there was the other one. Did he do Conspirators?
You're wrong. That is good.
Conspirators of Pleasure.
But, I think it's Conspirators of Pleasure is good. Alice is definitely his best, and that, in my opinion, is the best adaptation of Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
And his short films are really good too. So I also finished reading both Bash Bash Revolution and Burnt Tongues. Bash Bash Revolution. Yeah, it was really good. It was more of a melancholy story than I was expecting. Like it's this idea of Douglas Lane kind of talked about it when he was on here, but it's this idea of what if we gamified the economy? What if we like made all economic activity a game? And here he kind of
the economy.
Well, if we're making the entire economy a game in a way, we're gamifying it.
Isn't that what Wall Street is?
What?
Isn't that what Wall Street is?
In a way, but it's sort of gamifying it for everybody and not just a few like rich assholes in Manhattan.
Portfolios and all that bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like for investment bankers, like it's basically just like a gigantic Las Vegas table. For the rest of us, it's having to get up at 8 in the fucking morning and go to work. But
4 in the morning for me.
For you, yeah. For some of us, it's basically just having to get up in the goddamn morning and go to work.
I don't get
Wall Street bankers. That's because you don't have a fucking job. Fucking leech. But yeah, it looks at that idea with kind of a cynical eye, and I think it explores the idea very well. Like Douglas Lane, he's pretty open about being a Marxist, but in Bash Bash Revolution, he is not at all like pedantic or preachy about it. He explores the idea in a very nuanced way. I mean, like overall, it's just like the heart of it is a story about a broken family, and I think that's what really makes it work. And I think it's a very good book, and I highly recommend it. As far as Burnt Tongues, like some of the stories in that are kind of weak, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid anthology. Some of the stories, like I kind of mentioned before, they read a bit too much like rote copying of Chuck Palahniuk, but most of them I think managed to take a lot of tropes that Chuck Palahniuk explores and take them like in their own unique direction. Like there's even a zombie story in there that's a pretty unique take on the genre. So when that book comes out, it's been out, but it was out of print for a while, and it's coming back in print on the 25th this month. So I do recommend people pick it up if they haven't already.
Now, the Revelations commentary I read, which was put out by the Concordia Publishing House, I think it's part of the People's Bible Commentary series that's pretty much out of print now, and some of them are kind of expensive. It's a very good example of like you read it and you realize that, yeah, sometimes you can't just read the Bible and get like what's going on. Like there's a lot of stuff that you'll miss. I think you can definitely sharpen your tools once you understand the symbolism, but it definitely made me think about Revelations in a different way and realize that I had a lot of misconceptions about it. Even though I had, of course, read it. It's just there's kind of so much information there, like when it's kind of laid out and made a little, like things are explained on, and it. I don't want to say it orders it because I mean the book itself is orderly, but I guess just kind of slowing down and thinking about things. It's pretty. I'm glad I know all that now because I'd been wrong about some stuff for sure.
Does it ever address the idea that John the Revelator was just on a bunch of mushrooms?
No. I mean, of course,
I've actually seen some speculation.
There's so
I've
actually
seen some speculation that John was just on mushrooms when he wrote Revelations.
Now, it talks about how he was in exile on this island thing, and it happened.
Yeah, the island of Patmos.
Yeah, Patmos, and like, there's just so much freaking stuff layered into it. pretty crazy. The other crazy thing is how accurate it is. Like, first off, it has so many connections, like, to the rest of the Bible. Like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't say allusions since it's stuff within the Bible, but references to other things in the Bible as well. I mean, Old and New Testament. I'm trying to think of the Old Testament examples. I'll mess that up. There may not have been some.
The Book of Daniel has a lot of like apocalyptic ideas, doesn't it?
Thinking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Book of Daniel goes into like a lot of the ideas about the end of the world and things like that.
Yeah, and then there are also, of course, things in Matthew and Luke in the New Testament. Yeah, I'm blanking on the Old. I mean, I know that there are things in the Old Testament like that, but I'm blanking on what happens, or in which books. But yeah, I'm glad. It's a lot clearer in my head now, like the chain of events. And then certain things, like I never knew that, like certain prophetic visions within the old or within Revelations are actually applying to the entire New Testament age, as opposed to the very end. Whereas certain things like are about the very end, but it's very condensed. Like I'll ramble about it. So we want something else.
There's also
whatever. John was just on mushrooms, so whatever.
There was also speculation at one point that Revelation was a coded message about the Emperor Domitian in the Roman Empire.
Well, there were definitely things, and this, I mean, obviously wasn't coded because it's like right there, but like the letters at the very beginning of it are like addressed to the churches at that time. Mm-hmm. And you can take that and apply it to now, like the certain ways that, churches and individuals can go off the path. But go on with what you were saying.
I've heard it told to me, even by some, people who have had the calling to preach at times, not permanently, but, filling in for their dad occasionally. They said that that Revelation may have been written as a coded, document referring to the mad Emperor Domitian of Rome, and because there was so much censorship, tyranny during his reign that they had to code it in such a way. But
I wouldn't buy that. Didn't you say this dude was also going to be a Freemason at one point?
No, that was somebody else. But this is some denominations hold to this theory, though. So
yeah, like I know that's been it's been kind of proven that the whole his number is 666 is a direct reference to a Roman emperor, and the actual number is 616.
No, that's actually not true. The 666 is very specific. Like, there probably, in my opinion, there actually might be several different meanings for what each apply and are true. But the 6 is like the number of man, like God's number, like working on the earth, like God's number for working within the earth is 7, 4 plus 3, which I think 4 is the earth and 3 is the Trinity, so that's 7. And so the 6, like, very simply is like one step below that, like it's this thing pretending to be divine and place itself in God's path in order to deceive people. So that's what the 6 is. And then like the 3 of them is like, what was it? Like
I was always taught that 6 was just the day that God created man, so that's why it's the number of man.
Yeah, that too. But what were you going to say?
I was just going to ask how your all's podcasts were going. You both started one, right?
I've not started mine yet. I'm still working out how I'm going to do it.
How's Blood Bandcamp?
I'm hoping to record the next one sometime within the next week. I have someone who is interested in coming on as a guest. I'm not going to name it in case any of the bad actors who listen to this, want to go and talk shit. But I'm hoping to get them on the podcast and talk to them about their music.
It won't be as good as the first episode because I was.
I will say that part of the reason I've been a little busier is I signed up for Killer Con at the last minute, so I spent my whole weekend doing that.
Okay,
again, I won't say
not as good as Bandcamp.
Shut up! 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 Shut it up! Shut up!
He was complimenting
shut
you.
Up!
Killer
Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth!
He was complimenting you.
Up!
He was
Shut up! Shut up!
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Anyway, what I was gonna say is
Killer Con is not as good as
shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I will come down there and slap the dick out of your mouth. Shut the hell up! But anyway, what I was gonna say is shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! But anyway, what I was gonna say is
authors are just
shut up! Shut up! I will come down there and fucking stick my fist deep in your fucking boy pushy. Shut the hell up! Well, what I was gonna say is fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! No, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You have nothing of value to say. Shut the hell up!
Let him
shut up!
Just let him get it up.
No.
No.
Shut up! Shut up! No. Okay. Anyway, what I was gonna say is shut up! Shut up! What I was gonna say is so I did Killer Con this weekend, and that was, I kind of set up for that last minute, so I was doing that. Oh, shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
Have you ever seen Friday the 13th?
So I did the Killer Con thing. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I did the Killer Con thing the last minute. Shut up! Shut up! I did the Killer Con thing the last minute. But I also got shut up! Shut up! I did the Killer Con thing the last minute, and what I also did get accepted to be a regular contributor to a new journal, which again I'm not gonna say the name of it in case any bad actors listening to this, try to go and harass them over this bullshit. But I got accepted to be a regular contributor there. So I've been working on the first, articles that I'm hoping to, contribute to that new journal.
Okay.
Now, see, was it so hard to let me get that out without you fucking yammering about your bullshit?
It's basically the freaking new metal version of splatterpunk. New as in NU.
I liked some new metal.
Well, like Slipknot, they make a good whiskey. They make good music and they make good whiskey.
Apparently.
I bet there were a lot of people at Killer Con walking around with Rob Zombie shirts on.
What's wrong with that?
Nobody was walking around. It was digital.
What's wrong with Rob Zombie?
You can still see their shirts on digitally.
What's wrong with Rob Zombie?
I'm saying they're generic. Now, I do like some Rob Zombie.
You know what's generic?
Rob Zombie's book was horrible. He didn't write it. It was ghost written by that freaking Brian Evanson. It was horrible.
Joel McIver.
Wait, Brian Evanson wrote it?
Yeah, Lords of Salem.
No, this is the one I'm talking about. And he didn't write it, I guess, but that's one I was talking about.
I think Brian Evanson would do a much better job of writing that.
Yeah, I'm talking
Brian
about
Evanson
is
pretty
fucking
good. I had no idea
he novelization.
Huh?
Why did they need a novelization?
Money.
Probably people like Ben would buy it. Freaking KillerCon assholes.
Man, guys, I'm
going to come down there and stick my fist up your ass and rip your mouth off.
Guys, I don't know if it's because I only had one day off this week or what, but I'm really not feeling it this week for some reason. I want to go outside and feel the night air and just read some of these books I've been reading and work on Esper and stuff. I don't know. There are a number of options here. I can turn the show over to you all, and I can just come back and close it out when you're done. Or we can close out and you guys can go over and do the first of Zach's new podcast or do an extra version of Bandcamp Massacre. I don't know. What do you guys prefer?
I say turn the show over to us because
we can do my podcast and talk about House of Leaves.
So come back later and close out. Will I still have a show? Will there still be a channel when I come back? That's what I want to know.
No, I'm going to spend the whole time talking about how we should kill cops.
Please don't.
But yeah, we may as well turn an hour over or to do a pilot episode for Zach's. Okay,
do you have your equipment and all that and software set up, Zach, to do it?
Yeah, I've got everything set up.
See, I told you a long time ago that you guys all should have your own podcasts, along with doing this, because you were all good enough to. And now it's slowly coming true. And even Gregor was, probably, I bet he'll end up having one eventually too. But
see, I'm not quitting this one though.
Right. Well, neither has Ben, as far as
I don't know. No, it was just with Bandcamp Massacre. I wanted that to be a lot more rigidly structured.
And before any rumors start up, this has nothing to do with having
certain bad actors.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. I've been feeling like this all week, and I'll be ready to tackle it. Probably again next week. I don't think I'll need a week off since I'm ending early tonight. I just kind of want to breathe the night air and work on Esper and just read and stuff for tonight. And we'll be back at it next weekend. And hopefully Ann will be back, who knows? Maybe I'll get in the mood and come back later. Well, no, because you guys are going over to Zach's channel, right?
Yeah.
I think you guys ought to pursue that and see how that goes. And whatever this episode is, we can always, reflect on how bad it is next week. But I think you guys ought to, go and save yourselves and just leave me to die tonight. So, and I'll be back next week from the dead. So.
Okay, so I guess we'll be over on Zach's channel doing the pilot episode of what did you call it? Indie Rock Dinosaur.
Yeah.
And what is the channel though?
Yeah, Indie Rock Dinosaur.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys, and this isn't giving up. This is just taking a breath. So it's all cool. Everything's fine. So right. We'll make more in-depth plans for next week, and it'll be a better show, right? I think I just needed to recharge my batteries. So,
all right.
Sounds good.
See you, Space Cowboy.
All right. Later, guys. I'm not going to play us out. I'm just, not next week. I will.
All right. Just send me the link, Zach, and we'll see you all over on Zach's channel in just a little bit.
All right. Later, guys.
Later.
Don't take it personally.
Bye.
Okay.